Dan Bailey now for the extra point. And that'll set him back 5. Dan Bailey now for the extra point. He's got it, and the Vikings take a 7-0 lead. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And it's been a rocky start for them thus far. They had the turnover and then the punt on those first 2 drives.
So there is optimism because they've improved, right? Turnover, you just noted it.
Punt's better than the turnover.
The punt is better on the second one. Now they're hoping to turn into first downs and hopefully points.
On 2nd and 9, Flacco. Now a hit, and Flacco drops the football. It's loose, and the Vikings pick up the football. So they take over not only in enemy territory, but in the red zone at the 16-yard line.
With no running backs in the backfield to help pass protect, all the receivers in their patterns, there's going to be hot routes. If they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback, they've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They popped the ball free in the backfield.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but if they make them out of bounds, that does you no good.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Throwing, Cousins. Now he's forced out left. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Bryce Callahan. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
Tackle made by Eric Kendricks.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play, and that'll make it 3rd and 13. Flacco. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Zach Brown making his presence felt in the backfield.
We've watched this a long time, and I still don't believe we get it. 3rd and long, why are you calling play action?
Yeah, because they're not going to bite defensively, right?
No, not at all. I did have a coach explain to me years ago that for some teams, that's how they have to deal with pass protection and their line blocking. But to me, it seems silly.
Yeah, well, they are silly, and it leads to a play-action sack. And that's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And that will come the offense as they take over. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And 2 interceptions already here in this first half. That's got to affect him a little bit, right? He's got to be thinking about it.
He's got to be thinking about it, but most of the good ones, they find a way to put it aside. They're not happy about it by any stretch of the imagination. They find a way to put it aside and continue to play their game.
Can he put it aside? Let's find out. After 7-0 on EA Sports. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. Throwing is Cousins. And Diggs has it. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk at the 45. It's a gain of 16, and the Vikings have the first down as well. A first down throw for Cousins. Being chased out left. Now he'll let it go deep left side. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. Second down.
And you just know when that play call came in, their eyes lit up, because anytime you get a chance to take a big shot downfield, that's a lot of fun, and they missed an opportunity.
On second down, Cook. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield after a gain of about 4.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did, to get them into a manageable third down, because they had the incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Mike 51, Mike 51.
On third down, Cousins. Flush to his right. Lets it fly. It's caught inside the 25. A gain of 32 that time.
But we spent a lot of time exalting the offensive masterminds in this game, right? They draw up these beautiful plays. They look so perfect up on the board. But occasionally, sometimes you just say, throw it up and let him go get it. How about that play?
That went into the hands of Thielen, complete. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a first down again. They'll run with Cook, and he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. On second and goal, Cousins. Touchdown, Minnesota.
Well, this was a pass all the way, but he just kept buying time, didn't he? It was kind of like, wait. Oh, it's open. Time to hot-foot it and go. And, boy, was he successful.
Yeah, didn't go to the outside toward the pylon, just straight ahead, middle third of the field.
Shortest distance between 2 points. Straight line.
So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And last drive, 3 and out. Still a goose egg on the scoreboard. How do they break that goose egg?
They've got to find a way to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, get them some space, and try and make a first down and get some momentum going. It's been a struggle for them throughout the game, and that 3 and out on the last possession, that told you just how stalled they are on offense.
So who will step up here? We'll see. On second down, a run with Lindsey. It'll be a gain of 5, but still about 3 yards shy of the first down marker, and now it's third down. They'll try and run for it with Lindsey. And he's going to be stopped short of a first down as they'll get to him at about the 33. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's fourth down. They're going with Lindsey. And he's not going to get the first. I don't even think he made it back to the line of scrimmage. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Vikings, they have the football now in excellent field position. From the 32 now, here's first and 10.
Good route here. I'm going back to you. 50.
From the gun, here's Cousins. And this one hauled in by Rudolph. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. A good pickup there, 26 yards. Cousins now. And he's going to go down, sacked back at the 13-yard line. Bradley Chubb picks up his second sack of the afternoon. To try again after the sack. Cousins. And the pressure gets to him again. Jeremiah Tauchu. He's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Third and goal for Cousins. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Bradley Chubb able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Third and goal, they decided to throw for it, but how about the play defensively? Couldn't find anyone open, left him nowhere to go with the football, had to absorb the sack.
The offense stays out there. A big challenge here from this far back, but they're going for it on 4th and goal. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Looking for the end zone. And Rudolph has got it. The big tight end for a Viking touchdown. Kyle Rudolph. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Wow, talk about a big 4th down conversion for the score. Defensively, how do you let that happen?
I think you start with the offense, and you give them credit for going for it, having that kind of, well, let's face it, audacity. But defensively, I think you're right on target, partner. There's no way something like that's supposed to happen in that situation. You're supposed to be able to shut that down and get the ball back for your own team. Instead, they give up not just a big play, but a touchdown.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down. No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
X3, 218, jump. Jump.
Here's Flacco. He's got it, the tight end, Jeff Hireman. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime.
Ready! It's just me and you. It's just yellow. Lucky. Big ass.
On 1st and 10, it's Lindsey. The tackle made there by Linval Joseph. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Now it's Flacco. He completes this to Sutton. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime. They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here. Here's Flacco. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Everson Griffin make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. The Broncos send out their punter now, as he's on here to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. We're under 20 seconds to go in the half. I'm guessing the wise play here is be safe.
That is the wise play, because if you think about trying to fool them here, here's what you're facing. You're facing a loosened up secondary, playing a lot deeper than normal. So even if you run some type of misdirection, you're only going to fool them for a second or so. And guess what? They're so deep, they're really not going to be out of position. Take the knee, get to the locker room.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Derek Wolfe popping in for the sack.
They need to stop to get back into this game, and here's one right to start the third quarter.
Yeah, anytime you go into the lockers with that 2-3 score deficit, you're right. You need that stop, get the football back, and they've done just that.
Series to series, play to play.
And a very short pickup there across the 15 to the 16. Only 2 yards on the carry. That's going to set up a 3rd and long, 3rd and 15 to be exact.
Hey, behind, what I need? Not here. Line out. Hey, Ringo, 48. Where's your hot?
From the shotgun, it's Cousins. Steps away to his left. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 47-yard line.
Yeah, that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. Now they need 15 yards on this series after the delay of game. 1st and 15. Cook following the penalty. The Pro Bowler Chris Harris is in on the tackle. In the first half, he was held in check. On the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
Now the Broncos are going to take a timeout. It's just their first, so... Two remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter.
Jahan, 180!
Watch the run, watch the run.
Wide.
51, Mike.
What's that?
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Cousins, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Bradley Chubb in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long.
We own them.
Cousins from the gun on 3rd. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Justin Simmons. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Bronco defense has a touchdown. Those free safeties, they get to sit back there if they've got good pass rushers like this team does. Read like a book. He read it like a book and took it in for 6.
And if they use their eyes well and their anticipation skills, they can make big plays, just as what we saw, a free safety's dream. Follow the football, go to it, and take it the other way.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They've got to right the ship. They had a great first half, but the lead has really gone down. Now, you always talk about the adjustment to the adjustment. They've got to adjust right here.
And I think a lot of it is just mentally. Get back to doing what you were doing well in the beginning of the game, but a lot of that is playing with that emotion and that sense of pride and fire that sometimes goes away a little bit when you build up a lead. You think you've got it going, and you also think at any moment I can go ahead and go back to the way it was before. You and I both know it's not that easy once you get off the gas a little.
Yeah, they don't want to see this lead diminish anymore. And he goes across the 20 to the 22.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Jahan, 180! Rose.
Check.
Leave it, Ringo, 48.
Working out of the gun, Cousins. It's caught by Treadwell. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. 17 yards, first down, Vikings. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
First and 10 at the 39.
Let's go, defense. Here we go. Defense. Here we go. Watch your shit. Watch your shit.
To throw, Cousins. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jeremiah Tauchu. Make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. Gotta imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18.
Check 52.
Cousins gives way to Cook, and he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up 3rd down.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized.
Hey,
Tighten down. There you go.
Cousins to throw it. He completes it to Treadwell. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A good pickup there, 21 yards. So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 46. From the pistol, they run it with Cook. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13. Here's Cousins. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field that's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
9th play of the drive coming up, and certainly not an easy one on 3rd and long. Now Cousins. And this is Cook with a grab. And he's going to be stopped here at the 43, and that is not near enough to pick up the 1st.
It's 4th down.
Cousins to throw for it on 4th. And my goodness, this is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Broncos will take over on downs. And he'll have a tough time living that one down. It's one thing, Charles, to drop a pass. It's quite another to drop it on 4th down.
And so many teams work on that in terms of locking in on those key downs. You know, I've seen, you and I have both been to practices where we've seen, hey, 3rd down situation, big 3rd down alert, lock in here, 4th down play, make sure you focus just a little bit extra. It didn't pay off in that situation.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Tim Patrick that time, but it'll be 2nd down.
Had an open man that time. We ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely, just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet.
Mike is 59. Mike to 59. I want that.
51.
Defense, give me that ball. Give me that ball, defense.
Hey, Charlie.
Mike 5'9. Stop your whining. 59, Mike.
Flacco to throw again on 2nd down. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Jeff Hireman, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just 1 target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target of the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him, though. Find him. Find him.
Mike, check. 59.
Bravo.
I'm coming. Check 59. Mike is 59.
3rd down. Flacco needs a decent chunk of yardage. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Daniil Hunter in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
You're over here.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. And they're indeed going to go for it here on fourth down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out.
Hey, Wahoo! Gun.
Come on, D. 55's my guy, 55. I got it.
Flacco now on fourth. He's got his 6'5" receiver. That's Tim Patrick. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on fourth down.
Hey, Zoo.
First and 10 here for Flacco. And they're going to get him. He's taken down for a sack back at the 47-yard line. Daniil Hunter, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. They'll run. It's Lindsey, and they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on third down.
Hey, Alpha.
Flacco from midfield. And he's going to go down. They sack him back at the 42. The Broncos had 15 fourth down conversions last year, most in the NFL, and they're going here.
Mike, 55.
John.
Watch the slant.
They're going to look to throw on fourth with Flacco. And he's going to go down again. Daniil Hunter and the Vikings, they have the football now in excellent field position. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on first and 10.
Yeah. You don't want none.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14.
Hey, we got 3 down.
They run it again with Cook. And he only manages a couple here down to about the 38-yard line.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Cousins. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts. That's going to be their second. They'll be left with one more plus the 2-minute warning, and we'll be back. Here's Britton Colquitt now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. So possession goes over here on the punt, and the Broncos take over, first down and 10. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And last time they were very fortunate, this offense. They went for it on fourth, turned it over in their own territory, but the other guys held up. They didn't give up any points.
So how about the guy with the #1 headset on the sidelines, the head coach? That was planned going into it, not necessarily to not get the first down or to have the defense have to hold up.
But he trusted his defense.
Trusted his defense very much, and I think that's how he's going to play this game. Go for it. Be aggressive, because I've got the wild bunch backing me up over here on my own sideline.
Well, we'll see what his offense can do. Looking for more there on first down, but this throw downfield, incomplete. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
2nd and 10. Flacco once more. Finding the open man, and that's Tim Patrick. 20, 10, and all the way home for a Broncos score. Tim Patrick, an 80-yard touchdown as his guys are back within a single score. So that's a really big play here in the fourth quarter, and don't look now, they're right back in this game.
Did it feel to you, as it did to me, that maybe they were a little bit soft in what they were lining up with on defense? Almost like they were protecting the lead rather than trying to make a play.
And now that lead is down to just one score. Extra point from McManus is good. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter.
Broncos 14.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They've been asleep for a little while on this side of the football, Charles, and the score is just a one-score game now. Haven't had any points this half. What gives?
Let's go old school here. All right, let's get back to the basics. Get back to running the football, high percentage throws. Find the guys that eat pressure and make plays for you and make sure they touch it.
Now the Broncos will use their third and final timeout, so that will leave them with no timeouts left. Still plenty of time on the clock. We'll see how that affects things here in this fourth quarter. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13.
51 to Mike. 51 to Mike. Hey, orbit. It's out here.
From the gun, here's Cousins. And this one hauled in by Rudolph. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. Cousins now. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. Big hook up there, forced to throw it on 3rd down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
And he'll muscle his way up to the 43 for a pickup of right around 5.
All right, that's a decent game there, but it hasn't been his best game overall. So I wonder what the mindset is of his team. Do they want him to handle the football and try and close this game out? Or are they going to make an alternative plan and maybe go in a different direction?
I think they need him, and this is his time to shine. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd down now as they search for a way to get this one to the finish line. Now Cook. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing everything possible to have him do it again. They need that turnover.
No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
At the 48-yard line.
If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up second down.
Let's go. Clicker. Sponge. No. Yellow.
Cousins. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Jeremiah Tauchu has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long.
Hey, let's go. It's time to crash. Think you gonna get this, boy? You think you gonna get this?
Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Here's Britton Colquitt now as he'll kick it away for the second time. And now a high kick trying to pin him back. That'll go as a punt of 32 yards. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before we hit triple zeros. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They have time here, partner, for just one final heave.
And I have to look at from the defense's perspective here. We know what they're going to do on offense. The Hail Mary, try and get guys down there and throw it in the end zone, tip it around and catch it. You've got to have guys back there to defend that, but also you can't allow the quarterback as much time as he wants to set up and throw it. Maybe you bring a little extra pressure to make sure he gets rid of it quicker.
A little bit of a cat and mouse game. We'll see if they bring that pressure. They'll run on first down. It's Lindsey. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.